What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be answering some questions I've gotten on Instagram and in the comments on these videos about what gear, what bags I'm taking on the road on cruise ship gigs with me, what I have in those bags that I use all the time, and how I'm organizing everything. Throughout the video, I'm going to be leaving links in the description so you can check out these items online, and if you do choose to buy from some of the Amazon links, I appreciate it because it will give me a kickback and helps me out a little bit. If not, they can be found on other places online, and I appreciate you watching this video anyway. So without further ado, here is my list of gear and non-music related items that I'm bringing on the road with me, and I hope this will help you out a little bit. So the first two items basically just live in my car. My music stand happens to be inside right now. This is a Samsung laptop stand technically. I use it because it's got multiple adjustments for levels. It moves up and down, it folds into a nice flat surface, and the front of it actually has a sticky pad that can hold your tablet or music at any degree. The other item, which is in my car, and it's freezing outside, so I'm not going out there, it's just a stool that I found at Walmart, $10, $15 or something. I'll leave a link to a similar item. Now, along with those two items, another thing that lives in my car is just a bag full of assorted wires that I may have forgotten at some point. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to a gig and the outlet is too far away from where I'm playing. I always like to have one or two extra extension cords. These are nice because they're extension cords with extra outlets on the end of it, so I only ever use two. It's got three in it in case I have a bass player that also has forgotten them. So that lives in my car in that assorted bag. Another thing I keep in the bag always is plenty of IEC cables. Guitarists, we use these for amps, pedalboards, mixers, PA systems, and whatnot. If you need extras, you can head to pretty much any computer store, and chances are they have a couple in the trash ready to be thrown out. And then obviously along with those two wires, I just have plenty of 1/4-inch TS cables. The next thing is just amp cases. There's a seller I use on Reverb called HatTrick15, and he'll custom make any vinyl case for your amps. I have this nice one for my Supro, it just slips over the top. I've ordered one for my bass amp you see right there. They're relatively cheap, they fit nicely, and despite what Guitar Center wants you to believe, you don't need to buy a road case. It just makes it way too heavy, and for the average gigging musician, you're not going to need that kind of protection. So the next one on the list is my instrument cases. I'm always using soft shell cases. I have hard shell ones, I just don't use them because they weigh too much, and frankly, I don't need that kind of protection. Again, if you're being sensible with your instrument, you're going to protect it yourself and just not put it in a stupid situation that you need a hard shell case for. So I use mono bags, I use Gator cases, I use Reunion Blues. It's light, you can wear it on your back as a backpack, which frees up your hands for other items, and hopefully you can make it into the gig with just one trip from your car. So a nice cheap option is the new Gator cases line here. I use this for my bass. It's got plenty of nice pockets in it. The inside is plush, and the zipper mechanism is awesome. So what's nice about these cases is they're especially compact, and it's easy to get your instrument out without, having to clear a table or a lot of room to open up your hard shell case. So with a case like this, it's got a zipper on each side, so you just open it up, slide your instrument in, shut it, and it's in there nice and safe. A nice feature about this case in particular is the bottom pocket. It's the perfect size to slide, if I had a free hand here, to slide a music folder in. Fits perfectly in there, and you zip it up, and it's just easy. Alright, now the next step up is something like a Reunion Blues case. I use this because it's the only soft shell case made big enough to fit my 17-inch arch top. I use it for my Dreadnought Martin as well. So this is my case for all of my acoustic instruments. I keep a humidifying system in here. This is by a company named Nomad. So you just wet this pad down and it lasts for about a week. It really comes in handy during the winter months. So in the case, what am I keeping? It's just a strap, a spare set of strings, just a tin full of guitar picks. I keep an acoustic slide in there if I ever need it. A Capo, which I honestly have not used in probably 6 years, but it's in there if I ever need it. I keep a Snark Tuner always. I think I own about 6 of these. Spare batteries because the pickup in my acoustic uses batteries. And this is really important. These items just live in the case, so I can never lose them. I can never forget them. This is a feedback buster. It just goes in the sound hole. You've seen ads for these. It's nothing new. I also have a self-adhesive pad if I'm in a loud environment and need some other protection. It just kind of dulls the sound of the guitar and mutes the top a little bit so it doesn't resonate so easily. It just sticks on there by itself. So usually the feedback buster works, but if not, this is also a very resonant area of the guitar. This actually isn't a music product, but I'll see if I can try and find a similar product online for it. Since this is a very resonant area of the guitar down here at the lower bout, that's where I stick this. So with arch tops, it's a little bit more complicated. The F-holes are a lot of different sizes depending on which model you have. I found a site called Doug's Plugs. If you need plugs for your arch top, this is the best bet. Basically, it's just flip-flop material. It's pretty hard to cut out though, and this guy does a good job. So how it works is you just place a piece of paper over the F-hole and slowly shade with a pencil over the F-hole. And it'll get the exact outline, and do it for each one. And Doug will cut out this foam material for the guitar, and it gets placed in there, and it helps a ton if you're playing with a drummer. This is a floating pickup arch top, so really nothing is touching the top of the guitar except the bridge. It resonates very easily. If you're playing with a drummer at that volume, 100% you're going to need these. Additionally, if I'm in a loud environment, that's when this comes in handy, and I slide this under in the same kind of place that it does on the Dreadnought. So really that option will work for any guitar with a unique size sound hole like that. Some guitars have sound holes on the shoulders. I've seen them in other places. They can just be weird designs. And basically you just put that piece of paper over it and shade it, and you send it to him, and in a week or two he'll send you these foam cutouts. So another thing I keep in my case, and I actually keep in all my cases, is just something simple like a business card holder. I think I got 4 of these for $2 on Amazon. And it just looks a lot better than, someone asks for your contact info, and instead of reaching in your wallet and sorting through a bunch of other bent business cards that you've gotten from people, you get this little professional looking titanium case. It's probably not titanium actually. But anyway, you go into your guitar case and you reach out in this nice case and you pull out your own business card. I get all my business cards from this website. There's a ton of other videos on business cards, so I won't go there in this video. Anyway, on to the next case I use for my electrics. So this is my main case that I use pretty much every day. It's the mono Vertigo case, and I have the guitar tick attachment here. It's a great case, and seriously, in the 3 years that I've been using it, it's amazing that there's not more wear and tear on it. I got it when I was still in college. I was walking over a mile to my music building every day with it. And between that and ship gigs, flying with it countless times, it's been great. It's so convenient for me. So I'm going to run through a couple things here. And this one also has the top loading function. It was the first case to do it, and then Gator kind of copied them. So it's that easy. Let's see, I'll go down to the pocket down here. I also keep a business card holder in this case. Plenty of guitar picks inside. I reached in today and realized I had 4 capos in here. I don't know how I got this bad. The Spider capo, this is a really nice one. It lets you decide which strings you want to capo down and which ones you don't. So I use that for a few songs when I tour. This is a capo that only works on 3 strings, and these are exactly the same. I don't know why I have 2 of them. I'm pretty sure I only paid for 1 of them. But if any of my friends are missing a capo, you know where it is now. So really my only criticism with this case is just the size of this pocket. It's just not a good size for a music folder. You'll put it in and you won't be able to close the whole thing. There'll be like the corner sticking out here. In the last year I've switched to using a tablet, which I will go over in a second. Now the most useful thing I've bought in the last year, I got this while I was on the ship. This is just a cheap Samsung tablet. I've switched to reading all my charts on this. It's got a backlit screen, so you don't need to worry about being able to see charts in a dark room. So first off, the tablet, it's just a Samsung Tab A. It's a 10-inch version. And seriously, I got this on Amazon. The tablet itself, the case, a screen protector for it, all for under $200. The battery life in it is great. I charge it about once a week, and it just lives in my guitar case. I've got a few apps on it that really help me when I'm reading. The first one is iReal Pro. I use it for practicing also. It's got terrible charts on there if you need to play a jazz gig, but it's there. If you need to load actual charts on it, there's a great piece of software I use. I think it cost me about $10. It's called Mobile Sheets Pro, and basically I load all of my charts in here, and then it's searchable by keywords. I use it for weddings, I use it for jazz gigs, I use it in church. When I go to a ship and I'm playing a musical show, a lot of the times I'll scan the show that we're playing on here, and instead of having a gigantic layout of music on your stand, you can just use a simple tablet like this and tap to the next page instead of turning the page. It just takes a lot less time to tap it. If you don't even want to do that, they have Bluetooth pedal attachments that you can press a button with your foot and it'll change the page. You never have to take your hands off your instrument. Something else I use this for is just, it's got a tuner, it's got a metronome practice app, it's got Spotify on it now. MuseScore has a free version, so if you want to write out charts on your tablet, you can do that. Another great app called Music Speed Changer. You can import any MP3 if you're into transcribing, and you can throw it in there and you can slow it down as much as you want. Anyway, owning this cheap tablet has really improved my productivity and practicing and on gigs. So if you haven't yet, I would consider getting a tablet, really under $200, and it's a lifesaver. But anyway, let's keep going with this case. So in this secondary compartment is where I'm keeping most of my items. You can hold quite a bit of weight in here. So I keep sticky notes in here, pencils, markers, pens, anything to mark up music I'd need to on a reading gig. A couple of the main things I keep in the main section of this are my Shure in-ear monitors. This is the most basic model number. I can't remember it right now, but I'll write it. I use fingernails when I play still. It's just a leftover habit from when I was studying classical guitar. So nail clippers and fingernail shaver in here. Another really useful item I keep in my case is this portable battery. This has 6,000 milliamps of power in it. I'd say get something with at least 5,000 so you can charge your battery in your phone or your tablet a couple times. This has different adapters on it also, so the Apple jack or a USB-C cord that works for most Samsung devices. Another Snark Tuner. One of these annoying things, because thank you Apple, you've removed the headphone output, and now we have to have a stupid dongle just to listen to anything with a normal TRS 1/8 inch. I keep a few of these. This is a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter, just for in-ear monitors or anything you might need it for. I keep my glass slide in there. I use Eargasm earplugs for when I'm not wearing in-ear monitors, just on loud stages. It makes playing a lot more comfortable. I've got a video to that, which I'll link right here. And if you're interested in watching that, it's a pretty informative demo on why you should be using earplugs when you play. One extra thing I like to keep in my case is either my old GoPro camera, just for recording myself and listening back. If I don't want to take that on a gig, sometimes I'll just use a phone stand and my own iPhone. That just lets me listen back later, maybe in the car when I'm heading home, and I can review how stuff went. Maybe I can figure out what I need to work on. Now, one of the most important things I keep in here is just a very convenient thing to have. It's a multi-tool, fit to all of the exact dimensions you would need to really make any adjustment on a guitar. First of all, it's got a tiny little measuring device there if you want to measure how high your action is and make sure it's consistent across the fretboard. Pretty obvious thing just to have is a Phillips head in case you need to get to the controls for any reason. It's got multiple sizes of Allen wrenches, either to set up the action at the saddles of your guitar or the truss rod. And likewise, if your guitar has a truss rod with a bolt on the end of it, instead of like an insert where you can use an Allen wrench, this will fit your truss rod. And then on the other side with it is just a bunch of different sizes for flathead screwdrivers, Phillips head screwdrivers, Allen wrenches. Anyway, I've got 2 or 3 of these that I just keep around the house or in my guitar cases, and it's definitely come in handy plenty of times. So I'll leave a link to a similar product down below. This is something that absolutely everyone needs to have in their case, because you don't know when the humidity is going to change and your guitar is just going to become unplayable. String winder and extra strings, of course. A cloth to wipe down my guitar. Now in this secondary compartment, I keep a backup set of headphones, just in case I lose my in-ears or the wire breaks or something. Extra earplugs as well. and more guitar picks in there also. Can't have enough guitar picks. Another thing I keep in that compartment is a fold-up guitar stand. This one's made by Fender. They have an electric version, they have an acoustic version. If you just want to buy one, just get the acoustic one because it works great for electrics also. It folds up nice and slim, and then it extends down. It's pretty sturdy for what it is, and you tighten the screw. So the last thing I keep in that compartment is sometimes a wah pedal. I don't use it that often on gigs, so I don't keep it on my board. But it's there if I need it, and I just run an extra power extension from my pedal board, which leads me to the next part. This is my mono M80 bag for my pedal board. It's a very nice bag. I got it used because the end here is coming out kind of from using this strap with too much weight on it. I don't use the strap, but if I do need to, I just threw a bolt and a washer through there. It's got that main compartment for the pedal board. That's all I throw in there. And again, the quality of these cases is just amazing, aside from that little blemish. In this front pocket, I keep a ton of things. It's got this smaller pocket that I keep, again, guitar picks and a business card holder. In that front compartment, I'm keeping wires, an IEC cable for the board, an IEC cable for my amp, an extra power extension cord. I use Boss cables because they have a lifetime warranty. Usually they last about 4 or 5 months for me, and I just go and I exchange them. So I think they're, like the 30-foot version I think cost me $30. The 15-foot version is $25. They're gold connector tips, and they work great. There's a lot of companies doing lifetime warranties now, so you know, choose what you want to, but they work great for me. And lastly, for that bag is just extra pedal board cables. I use EBS flats because they're ultra low profile and they're pre-soldered, pre-made, so if one goes bad, I just replace it simply. You can see how small they are. And I've got plenty in here. I've got extra power cables, as well as sandwich bag ties to keep everything tidy if I need to do a rewire at some point. So for me, these cases just make my life so much easier. You know, when you show up to a gig, for instance, I play in Pittsburgh, I play in Philadelphia pretty often. They don't run backline, so I need to carry my guitar, my pedal board, my amp, along with, you know, a guitar stand and a music stand, and this makes it so that I can carry everything in one shot from my car. Sometimes you have to park 2 blocks from the gig, and yeah, walking that 2 blocks with all that weight sucks, but it's a lot easier than going to and from the venue, you know, how many times. And you know, honestly, they might pay for themselves. If you want to risk it and park in front of the venue, you could risk getting a $200 parking ticket in one of those cities. I know some cities, when I play in New York, I almost never bring an amp, so I don't have to worry about an amp. They've got great public transportation, so you can park anywhere and take a bus or the subway to the gig. But if you're in most cities, you know, the public transportation is not great, so you're kind of at the mercy of where you're going to park your car and how far you need to walk to the venue. And another thing that's made having these nice cases so helpful is, it's not advertised on their site as this, but I did some research before I bought it. This is actually sized to fit underneath a lot of different airplane seats. And the guitar that you have on your back, I use my mono case mostly for that. That goes in the overhead compartment. This goes under the seat, and you've got your whole rig on board. Anyway, guys, I really hope this video has helped you. If it did, let me know in the comments. Leave a like. If I've forgotten anything, feel free to let me know. If there's something that you found a lot of use for, I'd love to hear from you. Again, the links for all these items are in the description if you're interested in any of them. I'll leave some buttons on the screen to other videos that might interest you of mine, and I'll see you next time.